Welcome to Attenuation, a weekly podcast where two friends come together to drink beer, discuss beer styles and trends, and just generally ruminate on the meaning of life, aka beer. If you enjoy your time with us, we invite you to become a weekly listener and subscribe to the podcast. Without further ado, here is this week's episode.
Hello, and welcome to episode 53 of Attenuation, a beer podcast. Now we have to start over.
No. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
You made me laugh.
What did I do?
I don't know. You looked at me funny.
Oh, okay. Hello, and welcome to episode 53 of Attenuation, a beer podcast. My name is Jason, and I'm joined by my best friend since 8th grade, Steven.
Hello.
This is year 2, buddy.
Year 2, official.
53 episodes.
Think of all the podcasts we've outlasted at this point.
There's graveyards of...
Yeah, graveyards of podcasts that only lasted 1 year.
Discontinued podcasts. We made it to year 2. So. And we have a fitting topic today.
Yes.
It's not related to the recording the podcast, but the topic of the podcast. And our topic is going to be beer rut. And you're just not feeling your hobby anymore.
Getting in and out of beer ruts. Yeah.
So
I think both can relate to that.
Oh, definitely. So we'll have more on that later. But because we're not currently in a beer rut, we will go to our first segment, which is drinking beer. So I like to introduce my beer, give some nose notes, and then I pass it to Steven to do the same. And then we taste and share our tasting notes. So today I have a beer Steven got me, actually. This is Framboise Boon. And this is a Lambic, a fruited Lambic from Belgium. And it is a raspberry. It's aged on raspberries. So I'm excited. You should be jealous because this is your favorite.
That would by far be probably my favorite one out of that set I got you. So
yeah, I wanted to drink something nice and fun today. And this is fancy beer because it comes in a bottle.
Fancy beer.
And has a cork. That's how you know you're drinking the good stuff. I just smelled it just opening the bottle, and it smells. I haven't even poured it, and it smells like overpowering raspberry.
That's good pour audio right there. Mm.
Yeah. Ooh, it looks cool.
Ooh, yeah.
It's like
brownish a little bit.
Yeah, it's more purple in person. It's not really coming through on camera. It's like deep red purple, like wine almost. And then it has just the slightest effervescent head at the top. Oh, it smells so much like raspberries. Like fresh raspberry jam. A little bit of cherry, actually. Maybe a little vanilla. But just really tart, sweet raspberries. Oh, this is going to be so good. Okay. I'm excited, but I'll wait. What are you drinking?
Does it say that it has cherries in it?
It says fermented with real raspberries, aged 2 years in oak vat, spontaneously fermented. It doesn't say anything about cherries.
Huh, interesting. I feel like a lot of Framboise Lambics do also have cherries in them.
It's definitely possible.
All right, well, I have a fun one today. This is the Bruery.
Ooh, you're pulling out the big guns.
Yeah, from Placentia, California. Again, that's the brewery is the name of the brewery. And this is from their bakery series. They're like pastry stouts. This is the banana nut muffin version. So it is a Imperial Stout with banana, walnut, and natural vanilla flavor. 8.1%. Very excited.
Nice. That sounds good.
And if you want a way to get out of a beer rut, this is probably it. I also let it warm up a while too, so that should help.
Oh, forethought. I never do that. I always forget to take it out.
Okay, let me give you some nose notes. Well, I'll give you some visuals. Classic stout, dark, with a sort of a mocha tinted head. About half an inch of head that is retaining that nice, like, thicker, creamier stout head. Very classic stout aromas, just sort of that chocolate, that dark chocolate, coffee, roast notes on the nose. I'm not getting a whole lot of banana. Maybe just the slightest. I'm getting it now. Just the slightest hint of banana. Almost like when you just start to smell the banana bread baking in the oven. like just start,
Nice.
yeah, that kind of thing. And maybe a little bit of the nuttiness of the walnuts is coming through. Okay, this is gonna be fun.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
Okay, this one is a huge winner. It's
Yeah?
really good. So on entrance, it tastes like raspberries, like raspberry currants, or like just pure like raspberry, but it's devoid of sweetness. And there's a vanilla. It's almost like cream, like raspberries and cream. And then suddenly there's like a touch of tart sourness, and then you get a rush of like sweet raspberry. It has a really long finish, and the finish is again that kind of just essence of raspberry, like not very sweet, and then the oak, you get a little hint of the oak, and the carbonation is like light and effervescent, and the I don't know, the flavor is like natural, like it doesn't taste like they put syrup in or something. Obviously they didn't, but sometimes you think you're gonna drink like a raspberry beer. It just tastes artificial, but this is really really good, and I give it a thumbs up for sure.
Nice, man. All about a Belgian sour right now. Lambics, man. Lambics are awesome. Good lambics.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, this is going to be a good day then, because mine is like a super like 2 thumbs up. Like maybe the best stout I've ever had.
Wait, really? Okay, elaborate.
It's really good. So it's just this like amazing. It's like banana bread in a can. Amazing banana flavor with the walnuts. It's strong, but it's not like overwhelming. It's just, you cannot miss it. It's just this great banana nut flavor in the body of like just a really nice, like it's perfect body. Like it's not too light bodied, not too heavy. And I think the 8.1% is just perfect for this because there's no booze. It's just this nice sweet banana nut flavor. And then like the roasted coffee and chocolate kind of comes in the finish, just like a sweetened coffee finish. You could drink this for breakfast. It's that good. It's that smooth. The muffin flavors come through so strong that it's just, oh my gosh, it's fun to drink.
Now, that's like a whole line, right? Did they do a bunch of different...
The bakery series? Yeah, I think so.
That's cool. I got to get my hands on one of those.
Yeah, because I think they have a boysenberry pie one. They have a sticky bun.
I want the sticky bun one.
They have a coconut macaroon one. Yeah, it's a whole series.
Okay, very cool. And this is the banana nut muffin?
This is the banana nut muffin, yeah.
Okay, it's on their website right now. Oh, they actually ship it to me?
I think you can probably get it pretty easy.
Yeah, it's just interesting. I've never seen a brewery website. Well, that's not true. I guess this is getting more common. I'm just like on their main website, and it's just like, oh, here's our beer, add to cart.
Or you can just order it. Yeah.
Yeah, which is pretty crazy. I'm going to actually just pop my address in here and see how much they want for delivery.
Yeah, it's much more common.
Because I have a feeling the delivery will be expensive. But
the sticky bun one is bourbon barrel aged.
So they want... Oh, it is bourbon barrel aged. Nice. So they want $15 for shipping.
Okay.
Which is a lot, but I wonder if I ordered...
Yeah, I don't think it's like flat.
It's probably flat.
Yeah, so
it could be worth it if you just want to get a bunch of brewery beers just to do like a big order and just pay the shipping once. Huh. I'm gonna investigate this after we finish recording. Okay, cool. That's exciting.
Yeah, it's really good.
So 2 thumbs up day. We're off to a good start.
Yeah, I love this. I love this beer.
Nice. I'm really happy.
It's really good. Yeah.
All right, very good. Well, we can go to our next segment, which is postscripts and beer news. Postscripts is when we correct mistakes or add things that we wanted to bring up in previous episodes, and beer news is just beer news. So I actually have a postscript because we talked about the beer that we drank in the first year of the podcast that we liked the least on the podcast, and I wasn't quite prepared, but I did some research.
Yeah, I kind of threw that one on you. Sorry.
Yeah, I wasn't ready, but I think I kind of went through my tasting notes, and I think it was Lupu Juice 5 from Imagination Brewing. I gave it a thumbs down. I don't know the specific reason I didn't like it, but I just remember I don't like it, and I don't think I finished it either, which is pretty rare. I usually drink a beer if it's in front of me, so sorry.
Which is funny too, because that was the same episode that I drank that fluctuation from Equilibrium Brewing that I didn't like. So that was a double thumbs down episode.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty bad.
So if you want to listen to us hating our beers, put episode 9. You know the other one I thought about for you, because I'm drinking a brewery beer? On the Goza episode, you drank Gozas are Red from them.
Oh.
I don't remember you loving it.
That's right. I don't think I did. I actually have my notes on that.
The memory
Sour
isn't
interest,
great,
sweet red
but-
berries, and salt. Grape, oak, and salt. Sounds like a lot of salt. I think that's probably why I didn't like it, because there was salt on the entrance and salt on the finish.
With like in a beer that I don't think. I mean, granted, gozas are supposed to be a little salty, but I don't know if it went well with the grape.
And it was
theme.
barrel aged, and I really don't think goza is a style that requires barrel aging, or like it doesn't add much to the beer.
Yeah.
I feel so. That's probably why I didn't like it. I have all my tasting notes. I need to put thumbs up or thumbs down. I'm missing that data. The archives are incomplete.
Epic fail.
Yeah, I'll do it for year 2.
Yeah,
All
but
right.
episode 9, man, we did not like those beers. It's really funny. I have a hard time like picking a beer that for the podcast that is like not safe.
Oh,
'Cause
I see.
I'm afraid I won't like the beer on the podcast.
Hey, that's fine.
Well, I
We're
know
saving
it's
our listeners.
I know it's fine, but sometimes I don't always get to drink beer every night. But I know that on podcast night I get to drink a beer for sure, and so I don't want it to be the one beer I get to drink all week. It's crappy.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. That would be disappointing.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was my postscript, and then I think you have a segment of beer news for us.
Yes. Well, we've talked a fair amount on this podcast about, we've been reporting on Modern Times and how they had to close a bunch of their tap rooms, half of them. And so I saw this news the other day that WeldWorks Brewing, one of my favorite breweries of all time, they have their main brewery and tap room in Greeley, Colorado, which is like North Denver. And they were looking to open a second tap room in Colorado Springs, which is like South Colorado. And about 2.5 years ago, they broke ground on a second tap room in Colorado Springs. And they have decided now to discontinue construction. So it's been 2.5 years in the making. And they decided to pull the plug on that because they just realized, luckily, I think they realized in time where they, read the room and realized that it's not a super great idea right now to expand. And a lot of the delays and stuff were COVID related and supply chain related. And, they just decided continued investment in this second tap room was just not worth it. And it was better to invest in increasing their production in Greeley and just focusing on that. They recently opened a restaurant at the location in Greeley, which I'm super upset that it wasn't open when I was there, because we had to like drink beer and then we left and found a pizza place and then we went back.
Yeah, to like recharge.
Yeah, because we needed food and they didn't have food. Now they have a restaurant, and I follow the restaurant on Instagram and the food looks amazing. So they're just back to focusing on the kitchen project. And, they said they already went substantially over budget on the kitchen project in Greeley. So they're just going to focus on making that productive and profitable. And for now, just focus on Greeley and pull back from the tap room. So luckily, it's not like they're having terrible financial difficulties. They're just making smart decisions to eventually grow, but just not right now.
Yeah, that's interesting, and it kind of goes in line with what we talked about with like Modern Times and stuff like that. But it's probably a really hard decision to make, but they are doing a good thing. It's one of the things you learn in accounting about the sunk cost fallacy, where like it must be really hard to stop building it because you're 2 years in. But if it's not going to be profitable and this is going to lose you more and more and more money, you're better off just stopping, even though that feels so bad.
Yeah, doing things just because you've already spent money on them.
They also say, don't chase bad money with good. Yeah.
For that fallacy, I always use the example of a concert, right? You buy tickets for a concert, and then the day of the concert, you just feel terrible. You're super, super sick. And, it's easy to say, well, I already bought the tickets, like I gotta go. But if you're just miserable the whole time, you just feel terrible, then was it really worth it? Like,
yeah.
Just because you spent the money on it does not mean you have to go.
And suffer the whole time.
Yeah. So I think that's a harder one to understand than putting money into something business and realizing this isn't going to make any money. I better stop pouring money.
Yeah.
But not easy either way. It's still hard to.
It's really hard.
justify.
And even if you're successful, expanding is so dangerous. Do you remember there's a cheesesteak place where you grew up? I don't remember if you remember it. It was like called Rounders or something like that. Cheesesteak place. It opened. It was very, very popular. And they had one location. This is a small town. We lived in a town of like 30,000 people. And I would go regularly, and I started chatting with the guys that opened it. And one day they were like, "Oh, we're really excited." And I was like, "Why?" They're like, "Oh, we're opening a second location in the same town, like on the other side of town." And I just remember thinking like, "Well, this is the last time I'll be eating here." And sure enough, they went under. Both locations closed. It was just like they couldn't. I don't think the town could sustain 2 cheesesteak places. They should have went to like a different town and opened one. But it's like you're just cannibalizing your own market. Obviously there could have been other reasons, but they were very busy. And then they opened a second location. I think they just cannibalized into their own market and couldn't sustain both locations. That was sad though, because I love cheesesteaks, and there's like the closest good cheesesteak place for me is like 30 minutes away. So
Well, they opened that second Round Table location.
Yeah, and now they're both gone.
And are they both gone?
They're both gone.
What?
I'm pretty sure.
I know the one we worked at is gone.
That one's long gone.
Yeah, long gone.
Okay, never mind. That other one is still around.
Still open. Okay.
That's good, because we need round tables are dying off left and right.
And is there only one in Woodland?
Yes, there's only one here as well.
Yeah. It's not good though. It's not as good.
It's not. The Davis one was the best. I'm sorry. No, the Davis one is gone.
What?
Yes, the one I just pulled up on Google, I didn't notice it. It's the Woodland one. So Davis has no round table anymore.
That is very sad.
Very sad. There's one in Woodland and there's one in...
My wife is going to cry a little when she hears this episode.
I'll let her know. And there's one in Dixon. This is terrible content, by the way. No one cares about our local... Anyways, that one is gone.
I'll chop it up to make it interesting.
No, it's fine. Anyways.
That's what the podcast is about.
Okay,
boring people to death.
Getting back on topic.
They're listening to the podcast, they're working out, or they're doing something else, and they're like, wait, what are they talking about?
I'm talking about round table. What is round? They probably don't even know what round table is.
Get back to beer.
Okay, beer.
Sorry.
Okay, no, we can jump to our main topic.
Okay. So we did our thing. Oh yeah, we did our beer news.
Yes.
I don't even remember what we've talked about already.
You've already forgotten. Don't worry, you can listen to it later.
Okay.
Okay, so our main topic is beer rut.
Beer ruts.
So what do you mean when you say beer rut?
Well, I think it's meant multiple things over my beer drinking time. Sometimes I think it means getting stuck in one style. Sometimes I think it means getting stuck in one brewery, because I definitely have I still kind of have this, like, the one I go to, and I don't know why I don't venture out more. Sometimes it's like, oh, but I know the beer's good there, so I'll just go there. Well,
it's always a risk if you're trying something new.
Yeah. So a beer style rut, a brewery rut, and then I think there's that sort of like, do I still like beer? Or like, is there anything for me? Or, there's nothing new. I don't know. So those are the kind of like different things. Is it the same for you, or any other kinds of ruts you guys?
No, I was going to say the same thing. I think I've experienced all three. I know I was very pigeonholed into like certain styles early on, and I still have strong preferences now, but I try to challenge myself. So probably not that as much. I have been stuck on, when Aunt Sally was available, it was hard for me to drink any other beer besides that. So I was definitely stuck on that beer in particular, for good reason though. I mean, I would still drink it if it was available, but yeah, I think the strongest experience for me is sometimes just like losing interest in it altogether, where it becomes, I don't know, you just kind of like get bored, or like sometimes like, I think when you have a very niche hobby, sometimes like the ridiculousness of it like kind of like sneaks up on you. Like you're like, okay, I'm drinking like, these are all IPAs, and they're all like slightly different, and like who cares? Like this is so stupid. I don't know. It's
I'm
like
totally there right now.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. I there was a beer on tap where and I'm reading the description of it, and I'm like cross-referencing to Untapped and cross-referencing to Beer Advocate, and it's literally like a hazy IPA with like Citra, Mosaic, and Galaxy hops.
It's like you've just described every hazy IPA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, is it gonna be that different? So, I mean, I will admit that there are different levels of beers and breweries, and there are breweries that make IPAs that literally they blow me away. They surprise me. So I know that there's like something out there that surprised me, but it really is sort of funny when you're reading the hop bill and you're like, oh yeah, like just another hazy IPA with those, Citra hops. Wow, really breaking the mold there.
Right.
But like, I don't know. I mean, they don't need to break the mold. I don't know. They're just making the beer, the hops that are good hops. But it's just like I can't blame them for making that beer. But I don't know. It seems hard to sell that beer. Like, oh yeah, try this amazing IPA, new.
Exactly.
With the same 3 hops you've been drinking.
Well, there's always like a novel. I think there's like a novelty seeking component in every person, like where you're looking for the next best thing. It was the thing of like, do you know the thing about like nightclubs?
No.
Now, I'm not an expert on this, but from what I understand, nightclubs will be like continuously like they like facelift them, right? Okay. So there'll be like a nightclub, and then they'll let it go for like 2 years, and then it's the same owner, it's same everybody, but they like redesign the whole interior and they like rename it because then it's like the new place and it's exciting. Okay. And like that, I think that's present in like almost every hobby, like where you want to get excited about whatever the new hyped thing is, but sometimes I feel like you just see through it, and it's like this endless chain of like just quote unquote new experiences, but they're just like remixing things, and things are coming in and out of style, and it's just like I don't know. Sometimes like the whole thing just becomes stupid to me. And then I just like don't want to drink beer anymore. And this happens to me in like everything I'm interested in. So maybe it's just a me problem. I don't know if this like happens to other people, and then it will be gone. So I think I burn out really hard. It happened a lot. I think it happened when I was like doing Tabor a lot. I was getting so many beers. I was getting so many like stouts, and they were all just like variations of the same thing. And I was like, it's just all the same. Like, why am I doing this? Like, this isn't actually interesting. But then I think I think it's just burnout, because then if I just chill for like a couple months and then I go back to Total Wine and like everything is new, then like I fall victim to the same pattern where I'm like, oh, look at all these new things. I want to try them all. So I think it's supernatural. I think it's just part of being interested in something that's a little bit niche. And
yeah, I mean, we have this new grocery store that's right really close to that, a few minutes from the house, and they've done a really good job of having good beers, and almost everything that you can buy in a pack has been singled out as well already. You don't even have to ask to single it out. Yeah, they single out almost everything. So it's really nice, but it is funny how many, like, I will stop in there pretty regularly and I'll look and be like, there's nothing new. Why is there nothing new? From 2 days ago.
And you're like frustrated.
So I don't know, but then if I space it out and I go like I let a week pass or a couple weeks pass and then go, it's usually there's usually something there that wasn't there before. So yeah, I have this problem, and it is a huge problem of always really, I mean, I've talked about this before of wanting to try something new every time, but I also do have that weird like cynicism of like, well, is it really new? Like, it's the same thing. And I think that's why for a while I got away from IPAs. I didn't buy an IPA in a can other than like King Sue for probably the last year. And then Tavour, I started up on Tavour again. And I think that I've decided that that's where I really end up getting IPAs. Because I really do, like, it gives me the opportunity to find beers from around the country and be like, oh, this is their best IPA from this brewery, and oh, like, it rates pretty high. I want the chance to try this IPA. Like, I know it's probably, again, it's the same 3 hops. I know it's not going to probably blow me away, but I'm interested in trying more IPAs from around the country. And then other than that, I drink a lot of IPAs on tap when I can find them at local breweries. So that's kind of how I've gotten around my sort of burnout of IPAs. It's just like, I don't know, I had to change my mindset a little of being not so cynical about what hops they were using and just trying to enjoy the beer in front of me, right? Like parse through the beer in front of me. What's coming up? Because I've had, right, like I did that side by side with Pseudo-Sue and Citraquential. I mean, it was two beers that used Citra hops exclusively, and one was like really orangey, and the other one was more mango, right? So that's the point, is like to try and do that. Say like, yes, they're using the same three hops everybody uses, but what are they getting out of it? Well, like, you know, they're all using probably a different yeast strain, different hop techniques. You know, like what did they get out of the beer, and just enjoying that beer, that one beer in front of me, instead of being like, you know, cynical about it.
No, that makes sense. I think I don't think you're alone in like wanting, I have the same feeling like when I go and I see all the same things in the grocery store or the beer shop, and I'm like, oh man. Because there is something, I feel like we are hardwired to want to try new things. It's like the soda companies have figured this out a long time ago. Like, did you try Starlight Coke?
No, I haven't tried it yet.
I think it's probably already gone, but like,
I haven't seen it.
They know if they make like a new flavor, they give it a catchy title, they describe it vaguely, so your interest is piqued, that everyone will buy it like one time, and then they'll just discontinue it, and then they just keep moving on, and then they're going to do that forever. Yeah. Oreos are the worst about this. Have you, like the Oreo flavors that come out now, and they're all like limited editions. And I talked about this before, but I'm like such a sucker for all that. Like, oh, I want to try it. And then I think and then eventually get burned out of like, okay, these are just a bunch of different flavor Oreos. Like, I don't know. Why am I falling for this over and over and over again? But I feel like the same thing happens with beer. But then at the same time, I think if you can kind of transcend that, like, oh, I'm seeking the new experience, and just like appreciate the beers you like, I think that's also a good way to get out of the rut. Because sometimes I think what you're doing is you're just trying to like try new things, and you're not really appreciating the beer, appreciating like why you even like the hobby, if that makes sense. So like maybe if you're feeling like that, it's the time to go and just like drink staples again. Like,
yes, I totally agree with that, because I've had beers. So I had like a 6-pack of it's a local sour, and it was like a Tiger's Blood sour or something. It's you know, it's cute, it's fun. It's just this watermelon, strawberry, coconut sour. It's nothing crazy, not complex. But I had a 6-pack of it, and it's taken me a while to get through that, just because I don't like to drink the same thing over again. But it's really nice to just do that, to just grab that beer out of my fridge. And I know it's not going to challenge me. I know it's not going to, like, I've already had it. It's not something new. It's not surprising, but it's beer. Sometimes it's like, dude, just drink a beer. Mm-hmm. Like, stop thinking about it, just drink a beer, you know? So I think that part of it is like getting out of the hobby of it.
Yeah.
Like, disconnecting a little bit from the I have a beer podcast. I have to take a picture of every beer I drink.
Yeah.
I have to post something about every beer I drink, right? Like,
yeah,
I have to sometimes like just drink a beer, dude.
Yeah, and just do it for you, and who cares?
Like every time I go to a brewery, I have to take a picture of the beer I'm drinking. Like,
I like those pictures though.
Probably 10 people around me are like, dude, this guy's an idiot.
Nah, they don't think that. This is the Instagram generation. They're all doing it. Have you been anywhere like Instagram worthy lately?
Yeah.
There's like hundreds of people just setting up shots. It's insane.
You know, we have this weird like museum of, I can't remember what it's called, soda museum or candy museum or something. It's in Austin, and it's not even like a museum. Like, it doesn't even make sense. It's just a bunch of rooms that are very Instagrammable, you know, where you can take these like cool pictures of like these bright pink rooms with big sprinkles on it or something. That's it. It's just a place where you go to take a bunch of Instagram photos. It's really stupid.
Yeah, that's the thing now. There's a really documentary on Netflix. I forgot what it's called, but it's like a very popular place. Here, I'll postscript it. I'll figure out the series for you. But it's like a very popular Instagram hotel destination that these two girls started, that they're just very in tune with like Instagram culture and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
And they opened a second location, and like they made a Netflix series of them like building the second location, and it's cool because it's like they take like an old rundown place and they try to turn it into like a nice hotel, and they run into like 1,000 problems, like the water mains like deteriorated, and like
Right.
yeah, it's a nightmare, right? But yeah, it's just like the literally the point of the hotel is like it's an Instagram destination, which is fascinating. It's just not. I didn't grow up with that, so it's weird to me, but it makes sense.
Do you, because you have the big watch hobby as well, like do you get in the same thing?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just burn out and you're like, why do I like this? This is so stupid.
Does it make it worse that you have to take pictures of the watches and review the watches and do the whole thing, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, sometimes you just want to be, it's more fun to be a civilian, I think. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and just enjoy something to enjoy it and not document it and like do content creation around of it. But it's pros and cons on both sides. Like it's the same thing. I actually feel about the same way about the podcast. Like sometimes like, oh, we have to record tonight. Like we got to think of the topics and we got to like, I think of all the work that goes into it. But then when we're actually doing it, I'm like, oh, this is fun. And then like when I listen to it later, I'm like, oh, that's so cool. We made a podcast, like, so
right.
It's
100%.
You dread it, but then the reward is worth the squeeze, I guess.
Oh yeah. Every week there's like a combination of dread and excitement. And I mean, that's one of the reasons going back to the like picking a beer for the podcast. I mean, like, especially when I'm picking beers off a tab where I'm like, oh yeah, that's podcast gold right there.
There you go. Yeah.
Because that's going to be awesome because I can talk about it and trying a different beer from a different state and, broadening my horizons. So the podcast is definitely good for sort of like, and trying new things, right? Like, I mean, how many stouts have
I know. I love that you
drank more
drink so many
on this
stouts
podcast
now.
that I never would have drank.
Yeah, I'm so happy that you like stouts now. I can't wait till we go to Great American Beer Festival this year because I'm going to make you drink a bunch of good stouts.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to be all up in the stouts. I'm wasted, too.
Yeah, we're going to have to really
elevation.
pace ourselves. That's the problem with those. Even when you're taking little sips, when it's like 12, 14%, those little sips add up really fast.
But it's good, too, because, I mean, that is one of the beer ruts that I talked about getting into is a beer style rut.
Mm-hmm.
I am so guilty of getting in a sour rut. Being like, I only like sour beers, especially early on. Like, I only like sour beers. That's my thing. That's my beer. I don't like IPAs. They're too bitter. If you don't have a sour beer, well, come on.
What are they doing?
I mean, how many breweries didn't have a sour beer, right? All of them.
Oh, yeah. That was when you were like into sours. It was before it was popular, I think.
Yeah. So it's really funny how that happened, too. I mean, I guess they just got more popular, and it was a good way to bring people over into craft beer. Because you had the wine drinkers or the cider drinkers, people
I feel like ciders,
sweeter things. Yeah. Which is kind of funny too, because like true sour, especially like the Lambic you drank today, like those are like, that's not an easy style. Like that's not a gateway sour.
No,
right?
it's not sweet. That's the thing. It's like it's not sweet.
Yeah.
Most people probably wouldn't. It's 50-50, but no, if they could drink I think it's way easier to hook people on some of the modern, like the sours that are in the main lineups of breweries.
Yeah.
Like hazy little, or is it sour little thing, or from something for certain about it? They're like barely tart, barely sour. Those are nice gateways. But like doing maybe like a Lambic. Some of them taste like vinegary, like, you know what I mean? Like,
right, yeah,
not,
very
earthy, it's not really like an easy gateway beer.
Dry. But it can actually be, though, a transition from wine, though, because wine can be like, it's fruity, but it's dry, right? Like,
actually, that's a good point. Yeah, it is kind of like drinking a wine.
So anyway, there's this crossover there that I think was the beer world caught onto. They realized that, people can't just cross over into these 100 IBU IPAs, right? But they can cross over into sours, which have a long history of, I mean, they may have been the earliest beers, right? Just because you couldn't control the bacteria, right? So beer probably for a lot of history has been naturally sour, at least a little bit sour. So, it's not like they're creating a new, like, not craft style. This is probably more craft than IPA, really. but it's also a style that people can get into easier. So.
Totally. So what are some solutions to being in ruts? I think we covered some of them.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, just, trying new styles, drinking saisons.
Don't tell me that.
I mean, I think branching out for sure.
Yes, I agree.
Because I can get super cynical about, the hops. There's like 3 hops that they use, and they don't ever use any other hops. But like, there's tons of other beer styles. There's tons of beer styles I've never even had. Like I've had probably one barley wine in my whole life, so I can drink barley wines. I can start.
There you go.
Right? Like, there's aspects of all the beer styles that I'm gonna like and appreciate or be able to learn about. Even things like Czech lagers and different, pilsners and stuff. I think gaining more of an appreciation for that style and seeking out really good pilsners. I think that would be really interesting because I like the idea that Budweiser pushes is that like the lager style, it's a whole lot harder to hide mistakes in a crisp lager than in a heavily hopped IPA. So you could translate that to like, okay, let's find a craft lager, like not a Budweiser, a really good lager that's doing it well and also, without any mistakes, right? So they're flavorful, but they're well executed enough that you're not, these mistakes don't have to be hidden. So
no, that makes sense. I think branching out to new styles good. Going back to basics, so like just go drink Torpedo or like something you used to really like. Go drink that again. Like I think if I just got a 6-pack of like Lagunitas IPA and just drink that like back to back to back to back, this next 6 times I was gonna drink a beer, I'd be like, ooh, this beer's really good. Like, yeah, and then you just kind of enjoy like what got you interested in the hobby in the first place.
Yeah, I really do like that idea of just getting a 6-pack of something that is
like
safe.
something you like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just drinking it. Because sometimes you just need to drink a beer and not think about it and not feel like this is something new. This is something I need to sit with. This is something I need to dissect. Like,
exactly.
No, you can just drink that beer. Because you like it. It's simple. It's not something new, right? So you don't have to think about it. I like that idea.
And then just just taking a break. Like maybe you just need a little break. Don't go to the store looking for a new beer every 2 days because
give them a week to
one. Yeah.
Give them a week to get their new shipment in.
Exactly.
That's awesome. How about so let's talk about getting in the rut of being of one brewery. Do you have that problem? I mean, I will say I have that problem because like I have Pint House Pizza. That's a really solid. The problem is it's a solid dinner choice.
Okay.
And my kids like eating there, and it's we know that like the food's going to be good and they have plenty of food, and it's a menu that we're familiar with, and then we know that the beer is going to be good. So we just go there and we don't ever try to find a different place.
That makes it tough too, because if it has the combination of dinner, see, I don't have a place that's like good for dinner and beer. I mean, if I was going to go, it's hard not to just go to Blue Note. Because it's local, and I know I'm gonna like Blood on the Tracks on tap. Like,
yeah,
that's probably the closest we would get to being trapped in a rut. But the problem is like it is close to other food places. But yeah, the combination of like, oh, this is a pizza place and they have amazing beer like in one spot. Yeah, it's hard to pass that up. I would say I'm a little bit resilient to it, I guess. But I have gotten into like I had my Aunt Sally phase, or like where I'll just get like fixated on one beer and I'll just want to drink it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Briny watermelon.
Yeah.
When that's available, sometimes I'll just get like fixated on it.
Well, that's okay.
You approve of that one?
That beer, you just drink it all the time.
Yeah, it's so good.
That beer will not last in my fridge. It
should be out soon. I feel like they release it in.
Yeah, it's sometime around April.
Yeah, so should be showing up soon.
I saw that they just released the Give Me the Ink and the Holy Ghost, like the basic one.
Oh, that one is so
that
good
one is awesome too.
Really rare. I feel like they make it briefly.
It's hard to find. It's very hard to find. It's probably way easier for you to find than me. I probably can't ever find it, but that beer is so good. I love their base goza.
Mm-hmm. That's probably why Bernie Melon's so good, because they probably use that.
Yeah. Oh, hey, here's another postscript. Remember we were talking about Ultra Base and we didn't know it's prickly pear.
Oh.
That's the original recipe is prickly pear goza.
Okay.
And now it's more agave lime.
Yeah, bring back the prickly pear.
You know I have the recipe.
You gotta brew it.
Maybe I should.
There you go. You gotta make if you can't if
You know
no one else
that
to do it,
would
you gotta do it
that
yourself.
actually might get me out of a rut too.
Brewing.
Brewing my own goza.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Challenging my brew skills.
Yeah, goza seems tricky
Because
you
they're
gotta.
pretty bad.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Yeah, and I don't think goza is an easy style. But you
No.
could try. Hey, practice makes
You can mess it
perfect.
up with the salt. You
The
can mess
salt.
it up on every level. The
Yeah,
salt, you can mess
the
it up with
tart.
the souring portion. Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah. I don't even. It's gonna take me like a year to build up the confidence to even try, but we'll see.
All right, I want your version of Ultra Best.
Yeah. Are you in a rut right now?
A little bit, only because my stock is low. I think I have not been to Total Wine for a long time, so I think if I go, I will be very excited, and I will buy a bunch of stuff.
I want just brewery beers now.
Yeah,
Brewery
see,
bakery stouts right now.
there you go. Well, you can order some of their stuff off their website.
Also, I'm in a smoothie sour rut.
Are you really? Is that what you're getting off Tavor, left and right, or?
Yeah. It's either smoothie sours or IPAs. That's what I'm buying on Tavo right now.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't really buy stouts off of there just because I don't really buy that many stouts in general unless they're like something I'm really excited about, which this one I was, and for good reason because it's awesome. But yeah, smoothie sours, the stupid smoothie sours. It's kind of getting out of season because if you get them now, like it can be too hot, like the transport.
Yeah, that's the only thing. That's the big caveat with Tavor, I think.
I mean, I've only had one that ever exploded on me, so.
Yeah, I think don't order those in the summer. That's all I'll say. Because they don't have a lot of control over their shipping, and I think sometimes the conditions are not ideal. Now, in the winter, order anything you want because it's cold. I think it's fine. But yeah, in the summer, sometimes I get those boxes and it's like it's pretty warm, and you're like, oh man, how warm did this get?
I have another one of those 450 North smoothie sours in my fridge right now.
Okay.
I'm pretty excited about it. But I was like, I can't drink that on the podcast. I can't.
Why is that?
Because I've done one 450 North beer on the podcast is plenty.
Oh, you can do two. It's fine.
It's just juice. That's gonna be the review. This tastes like fruit.
That's why.
Fruit
that's
juice.
Right.
Yeah, remember the ones they like add so much fruit that they dilute the ABV?
Oh, okay, it's that.
They don't even put it on the can anymore. Yeah, it's that one.
They just stopped putting ABV on the can.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, because I don't even think they know what it is.
They're like, it's low.
I don't know. It was 8% at some point, but then we
added like 40 oranges to it.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, that was a good discussion on that.
Yeah, not too bad. So beer ruts and how to escape them, hopefully.
Yeah. Especially if it's odd for us, I think it's even worse because it's such a huge hobby for us. And we have a podcast, and so we have to ride the line of being hobbyists and taking pictures of our beer and posting it on Instagram
and always having a new beer to drink on recording day.
Yeah. But it's also the fun of it.
Yeah, it is fun.
I get to drink banana walnut stouts from
the brewery.
Yeah. So.
Nice.
And I would not have drinking this stout any other night other than on the night I'm recording a podcast. So.
Yeah, it does give a good excuse to drink a good beer, which is nice.
Exactly.
# drink your cellar.
Yeah, when are you going to drink your cellar? Oh, yeah, like next month? The month after? Okay, yeah, you got it.
May, if all goes to plan, I'll be drinking my cellar.
Oh, man.
I'll be living life.
Well, I have the Pliny the Younger trip coming up.
That's right.
I'm so excited. You know what I really am going to try to do? I'm just going to manifest this and put this out there. I'm really hoping to get some sound bites from some people
Do it. That'd be so cool.
Maybe Vinny,
Yeah.
because they walk around. They're around. So Vinny or Natalie, I try to get some sound bites from them.
Tell them our podcast is very popular.
Very popular. Hundreds of followers on Instagram.
Oh my god, they're gonna laugh at you. No, they're chill. They'd probably give you a soundbite.
Oh man, I'm so excited. In fact, I'm gonna go prepared with some questions so I don't sound like a complete idiot.
Nice. Are you gonna wear some swag?
I should wear an Attenuation podcast shirt.
There you go.
I actually designed a shirt the other day that has like sort of our new logo on it.
Yeah.
But I couldn't pull the trigger. It's really expensive to buy like one custom made shirt.
Oh yeah, you got to do it in bulk.
Yeah. So I gotta wait until we have more fans, so then we can just sell it on our website.
There you go.
But yeah, no, I'm super excited. I'm gonna try and get some sound for the podcast.
Yeah, I saw on Instagram they had a clip of the first bottles rolling off the assembly line, and I was like, oh, there they are.
So
all
excited.
Bottled up.
So excited.
All right, sir. Well, I guess that we'll call that an episode. If you want to reach us, we're available on email at contact.attenuation@gmail.com, and we're also on Instagram at attenuation.podcast. And if you stay tuned to that, you might get some of those clips and sound bites from the tasting.
Oh, there's going to be a ton of pictures. So.
All right, awesome. So this was episode 53 of Attenuation, a beer podcast. My name is Jason, and I'm joined by my best friend since 8th grade, Steven.
That's me.
And we are saying cheers, and we'll see you next week for episode 54.
All right, cheers, buddy.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Attenuation, a beer podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and follow us on Instagram or Facebook for more fun content. Catch you next week. Cheers!